Update the poll results there, Seton, and we'll get to Rick Stroud, who covers the Buccaneers for the Tampa Bay Times.
Well, sadly, Dan, the tides have turned. Nobody's buying the Masked Singer.
Okay. Yeah, part of me wanted it to be true, but then part of me was like, no. I can't see Tom with a goat costume on the Masked Singer. And then I wondered the sensitivity level here, and it kind of came out of nowhere where Todd Bowles goes, yeah, we've known about this, but I'm curious how long ago they knew about this. Rick Stroud does a great job covering the Buccaneers for the Tampa Bay Times. When did the Buccaneers know about this, Rick?
They knew prior to training camp that he was going to take this time off. I mean, he told them that he would be in the first couple of weeks, would do the install, get with some of the new players like Julio Jones and Kyle Rudolph and those guys. And then he wasn't going to play against Miami. He wasn't going to play against Tennessee. So, he missed 11 days, really about 4 practices that he would have participated in. So, it was something that they knew about. They know the reason for it as well. And they were happy to grant him that time off.
How much do you know on this?
I know enough. But there are some things, Dan, and I mean this, that are very personal. And I can tell you, it was never health related. There's no issues with his children, his wife. I mean, it's not something or his mom and dad. So it's not of that vein. I think when you say personal reasons, it invites speculation. That's just the world we live in. But even somebody with the celebrity of Tom or Giselle deserve to have, time to do what they need to do and with their family. So it is definitely family oriented. And I think that we'll eventually all find out one way or the other. And, some things we're not privy to print just yet. And we'll see if Tom addressed it. I don't expect him to today. The Bucs are just leaving it up to him. However you want to go forward with this, you just tell us.
But I wondered about that I don't know. I can understand the local media maybe protecting Brady and their relationship. But Adam Schefter and some of the other insiders, I mean, 10 days is a long time. Has anybody seen Tom Brady over those 10 days in Tampa?
No, and it's interesting because I was talking to somebody that's close to Tom in that sort of sphere, and he said, "Look, where could Tom Brady go?" Because I thought we'd find him on a yacht, in the Mediterranean. Some paparazzi was going to snap a picture somewhere, and he said, "Look, his neighbors would have to be birds and trees because somebody would definitely take pictures." So wherever it was a private place, and they needed that space with the family. And like I said, I think we'll all find out in due time. It is interesting. Tom has, as you mentioned 2 of them, very close media partners. And if they want to continue to be that, even if they're privy to some information, like I said, there's some that's just too personal to really just blurt out there and report.
I wondered about this when I first heard, when he retired. And then he was coming back. And I don't know if in that moment, maybe he made plans with the family and maybe it was strategic that, hey, your body's going to say, let's go play football again, but you're retiring. Let's plan something with the family. That was what my thought was. And am I far off on that?
It's not a vacation. Let's put it that way. Was it necessary for him to be with his family? I think so. Did they have it planned before training camp? Yeah, they would have. But it wasn't as if like, hey, I was out and we made this great family plans before school and we're going to stay committed to that. I do think that, at 45, having played 22 years, he knows what he has to do in training camp to get ready. There's still 3 weeks before the start of the regular season, if you count the week leading up to the Dallas game. So this was all kind of built in, I think. But there, like I said, I think we'll find out a reason here, whether Brady announces it or it just gets out that is personal, and he'll talk about it when he's ready to.
Yeah. Interesting.
Sorry, I can't be any less vague.
Yeah. No, you're doing a good job.
I know. I'm not helping you here, but like, if I could print what I could print, you would be asking me about my story and not not just to speculate, but there is some there. Let's put it that way.
Well, they have bigger issues than what's Tom doing now. I look at the offensive line. I mean, I thought maybe Tom's going, damn, why did I come back? Like, my offensive line isn't good, banged up, don't have Gronk. How's the team otherwise, Rick?
Not good. I don't think it's as bad as we think it is. Like, the guys inside the building aren't panicking just yet. I mean, they do have Tom Brady. So, when Tristan Wirfs has, an injury, but he's day to day, he's going to make it back by Dallas. Listen, losing Ryan Jensen was a big deal. And you're right. I watched Tom. He was crestfallen when, the guy in front of him. And this is the thing. They changed not just the center, but the two guards. Those are the guys at Tom's feet. That's the closest, that he's concerned about. He can see guys went off the edge and he'll be fine, throw the ball away. So there is going to be, some adjustment there. But Robert Hainsey has stepped in. They like what he's done the last 2 games. I know Aaron Stinney got hurt. You feel bad for him. He was a guard that played during the Super Bowl in the playoffs. But frankly, I'm not sure he would have made this team. There's some guys that are stepping up that are playing better right now. But it looked really bad in Tennessee. They got a rookie playing guard. He's got to come a long way. So, yeah, I mean, I watched Brady and it was hot and his center went down. And I'm thinking the same thing, like, man, maybe he should have stayed retired. But he's committed to playing and he got a lot of these guys to come to Tampa because of that.
We're talking to Rick Stroud. He covers the Buccaneers for the Tampa Bay Times. Yeah, I'm looking at Cowboys, Saints, Packers, Chiefs. Does anybody have a tougher start to the season than Tampa Bay does?
Not a chance, right? I think if you go 2-2 in those games, you feel probably pretty good. I mean, depending on who you beat, you're in the NFC South. They haven't beaten the Saints yet in the regular season. They won the one that counted on the way to the Super Bowl. But yeah, that is a murderer's row, and Dallas is going to be a tough out in the first game. We remember that first game a year ago. It was classic. They won on a field goal at the end, and I don't know how they navigate that. I mean, when you're on the road twice and you're coming home to play the Green Bay Packers, and then you've got to follow that up with Kansas City. That is really tough. But if they get through that, not that it gets that much easier, but it does get a little easier. The South is going to come down to them in New Orleans. I mean, I don't think Carolina is quite ready to make that step yet with their quarterback situation. Certainly Atlanta is not. But those two teams are going to battle it out. And, when has Tom Brady lost or not won at least 11 or 12 games a season? And I think they're counting on that. So, but yeah, that's as bad. That's as tough as 4 games and some national TV games in there that are night games as well.
The Raiders story. Is that fair game today to bring up to Brady? He may not want to talk about his absence, but could somebody bring up the Raiders where you have Dana White saying, look, I brokered the deal, John Gruden nixed it, and is that the guy that Brady is talking about? You're going to stay with that MFer. Is it Derek Carr?
It's a fair question when and if we get him. And the joke going around is that John Gruden has won 2 Super Bowls for the Bucs, the one in 2002 and then the one that he gave them when he didn't take Tom Brady. So I'll tell you what, man, that was a mistake on my part. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, are we surprised that Tom Brady looked into every situation? And I mean, even San Francisco, look, they had just won a Super Bowl. Now, Tom Brady is emotionally attached to it, right? Grew up in San Mateo, would love to have been part of that legacy with Steve Young and Joe Montana. They took Gino Carmazzi instead or whatever. But they had just come off a Super Bowl. They lost, but Jimmy Garoppolo had gotten a new deal, and 49ers had that discussion and said no. So there were teams that said no to Tom Brady. So my theory was that every team that said no to him had an MFer. You know what I mean? Like he didn't care who it was. Like he was going after all of them, man, and he ended up with the confetti. So, but that is we've heard about the Raiders. We've heard him looking into Miami. I mean, nowadays it's Tampa Bay, Dan. I don't know if you know that they've changed the name. It's now Tampa Bay because everybody wants to try to get Tom Brady.
Good to talk to you, Rick. As always, thanks.
Great seeing you. Thanks.
That's Rick Stroud, covers the Buccaneers for the Tampa Bay Times.